Alright, hi YouTube chess fans. This is my second YouTube video. I did one video on the Traxler Gambit. I'm going to do this video showing another Traxler Gambit game where white plays something that's you're more likely to see from your opponents online, something a little bit more common. And this game is between two grandmasters, Kulev and Klimov, from 1989, correspondence game. And in this game, white played e4, black started with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, knight f6, knight g5, bishop c5. The same opening as I showed in the first video, and this time white is going to respond with the most popular move out of the three. And there's three moves. In the first game, we looked at the move d4, sort of a tricky sideline. In this game, we're going to look at knight takes on f7, and the third option, which is going to be in the last two in this series, which is bishop takes on f7, which is probably arguably the best and the most consistent out of the three. But there's still a lot of fight in this line as well, which I'm going to show you guys. So knight takes on f7 here was played, and of course black takes with the bishop. This bishop sacrifice, that's the whole point of playing the Traxler Gambit. That's the whole compensation here. And instead of taking the bishop, if white takes the bishop in this position, of course the knight comes in and the queen comes out to h4, and we get the typical attacking lines, which guarantee us at least a draw, at least according to theory. But in this line, king f1, very practical choice to play, and then queen e7, we don't want to lose the queen. White takes the rook, and then we play this active move d5, which opens up the center, and that's going to be the source of a lot of our counterplay. And notice that if white was going to take with the bishop here, we would already be trapping the queen with a move like bishop g4. So therefore, white has to be a little bit careful here. And after taking with the pawn, of course, black plays knight d4. Anybody who plays this line should be a familiar position, and it's also a very interesting position to play for black, I would say. And I wouldn't want to play this for white, is the general impression that I get. And in this game, the move d6 was played on move 9, which is a pretty good move because it's sort of forcing black to either take with the pawn or the queen, and it's also opening the bishop, which might help to get the white knight, recover the white knight at some point in time. So queen takes the pawn here, and then knight f7. So that was the plan, right? White's trying to slowly get his piece out of harm's way, attacks the queen. Queen moves, hits the bishop, and now white defends the bishop with the move d3. So now black is ready to play bishop g4, hitting the queen. And here, white plays a really good move, which is b4, counterattacking the other queen. So if the queen takes, then white will get a chance to move the queen. And so black just moved the queen back to e7 here. And then white got a chance to move his queen out of harm's way. So bishop e2 check was played. King takes on f2. And now knight g4 check. Very messy, very tactical, but knight g4 check. King e1. Best move. So what happens? What happens if the king would go to g1? If you want to pause the video, you can pause it and try to see what you would play with black. Alright, queen h4. This is the move. Queen h4. Great move. Threatens the f2 square. A checkmate on f2. And then if white plays g3, it's a done deal after queen h3. Look at that position. The bishop is still defended. The bishop is actually blocking the queen from defending on the king side, and look at these pieces aren't doing anything. So this is already should be winning for black. And so in this position, let's say the king goes to e1, much better square, but still queen f6 is good. And queen in this game, white decided to trade the queen for two minor pieces in order to stop black's attack, because otherwise this queen, the knight, everything is attacking on f2, and it's going to be hard to stop. The rook can't even come in because the bishop's stopping that rook from getting into the game. So white had to do something here, which he did, but still the queen's coming in to f2 with a check, king d1, and then queen takes on g2, rook e1, and queen f3 check, king d2, queen f2 check, rook e2, queen f4. And you see black is in a commanding position, and he has enough for at least the draw. After, for example, the rook blocks, the queen would just go back, the rook blocks, queen goes back. And if the king ever comes here to the back rank and it attacks that queen, then of course you can just repeat like this, and that should be enough for a perpetual. So in essence, black always had enough for at least the draw, and gave white plenty of chances to go wrong over the course of the game. So that's what I wanted to show you, and I'll make a third video and we'll see what happens if white takes with the bishop in this position. So that'll be the next video. All right, thanks guys.